Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon.
I like your pointing, and I'm Krysta. And we have a co-host.
We actually
we
have
have several co-hosts. Our animals are visiting us right now.
Many animals.
Yes. They're like crowded around while we were recording. But I have a special nerd thing. Can I jump to my nerd thing immediately?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so in my lap right now is a very special co-host. She weighs exactly 2 pounds. And it is our new kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our new kitty. And she's watching the computer the little sound things go. So anyway, you might hear a meow occasionally. But she's going to help co-host tonight.
She might have slept a little too much before this. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But if you hear a meow, that's what that is. If she gets a little rambunctious, I'll go, that meow. I'll go put her away. But right now she's cuddling. Kind of. Okay, Brandon, how are you this week?
I'm fine.
What's your nerd thing this week?
Well, I'm actually gonna use your nerd thing that you should have used last week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Kitty's upset.
No, she's okay. What's up?
Well, when we were in Saskatchewan, we talked about the football game and stuff. We didn't mention that we experienced Barbenheimer. It was approximately a month late, but we had the full experience. We watched both of them in the same weekend, like you're supposed to originally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
we watched Oppenheimer actually in IMAX.
In IMAX, which was probably the way to see it. It was very interesting. You have a parrot, Kitty.
I do. She's a parrot right now. And then we watched Barbie second. What did you think?
No, I thought they were good. Mm-hmm. Definitely my favorite Christopher Nolan movie since Inception.
I would agree. 100% agree.
His recent stuff has been
trying too hard.
But
bad. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it in IMAX.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Barbie was cool. Maybe a little over the top with the message, but sometimes you gotta. People are a little dumb. People still didn't get it, so maybe not.
Not over the top enough.
I don't know.
I loved Barbie. I actually really enjoyed both of them, and I enjoyed seeing them back to back. But I loved Barbie.
A really funny instance of counter programming actually working. It used to work a lot more. Nowadays, you mostly get one big movie in a weekend. They don't open a counter programming thing. It used to be very common back in the 90s. So, it's good.
In the 90s,
people are going to the theaters.
Well, you need a reason for them to go to the theaters, and then it becomes like an event. And they figured this out with this the duel, and it worked well, I thought.
I don't know. It was good marketing, and Ryan Gosling was
so good. Really you know what? He was Knuff for me.
So good. And
yeah.
Simu Liu is also very good.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. We have like loved on him so hard already.
Yeah,
so like I don't think anyone's surprised that we're like he was so good.
Yeah.
He was like absolutely amazing. Everything he does though, I just adore him. Like even the commercials, like doesn't matter. I love him. Yeah, good nerd things. Also, I am going back to school, but there's a kitten, so yeah. I should probably have going back to, like school starting again and going back to school. So this last week was my setup, and next week the kids actually start. It's our long weekend here coming up. You'll be hearing this on our holiday, actually, or Labor Day.
It's Labor Day in the States as well.
Oh, perfect. So Labor Day long weekend. I wasn't sure if that was a States thing too or not.
Yeah,
oh, awesome. Bet. Okay, well, happy Labor Day, everyone. And kids start back on the Tuesday, so I've been kind of prepping and a little bit stressed out about that. But, also, meh, school, there's a kitty who's a parrot kitty right now.
And we're also babysitting my parents' Border Collie Summit, and she is also helping.
Yeah, she's helping record right now, too, as well as our regular assistant, our Bernese Mountain Dog. Our other cat is around here somewhere, and she is not that big of a fan of the kitten yet. So we'll see how that goes.
She has had bad experiences with other cats.
She loves dogs.
She's a big fan of dogs. Doesn't like cats because our other former cats would beat up beat her up. So
when she was little.
yeah, so she's a little scared of cats. So a kitten is like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. She's not too sure. She'll get used to her though, I think. And then
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. And then tomorrow we are dog sitting out my brother's
El Mule's dog.
Yeah, El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song you hear at the top of every show.
Yeah.
Do you like that plug?
Oh,
it was pretty good, right?
Good plug.
It was a good Segui.
Nah, that wasn't really. We weren't Segui-ing to anything, but
no,
it was a good plug.
All right, it was a good plug.
You were right with the plug.
So we're looking after Django. Yeah, who
named after the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Bet. Oh, we didn't explain the kitty's name is kind of nerdy, actually.
It is nerdy, yes.
So I had this idea that because I had a kitty that we had to say goodbye to in June, and it was very upsetting. But I like kitties a lot, and I said if I ever get another black kitty, because my kitty was black,
and we wanted a female cat as well.
Yes, we wanted a female. Also, our other cat is female, so we thought they would get along better, and they're just a little easier. And
male cats tend to spray, which is not
exactly
not great.
Not great. So I said I wanted a female black kitty, and I wanted to name her. I was so proud of myself for thinking of this, Lilith. So you play Diablo, and like Lilith is a really cool character in like myths and things like that.
Yeah, it's a biblical thing and all that. And
actually, the idea for it came from Disney, because Lucifer is the cat's name in Cinderella, and we've always commented that we love that name, but it's no good unless you call Lucy, I guess. But whatever, for a female cat. So we said, something in that same vein would be Lilith for. So. Good job, Cinderella. There's my Disney Segui.
That's a Segui. Yeah, that's not bad. But yeah, it's mostly for the Diablo.
Yes,
character.
It's mostly for the Diablo. And I just thought like a little black
the
kitten.
whole myth.
Yeah, exactly. And I always tell her she's my little demon.
Yes, we give her wet food and we call it the flesh sacrifice.
It's true. She's watching the dogs right now.
Yeah.
So fun nerd things this week, by the way. What are we drinking?
Well, again, hearkening back to our trip to Saskatchewan, we picked up a little special treat that we've been saving for the right occasion, and I guess this is going to be the right occasion.
This is the right occasion.
Because you've had cause to drink tonight, although not as much as you thought.
We'll be getting there.
Yeah.
I was so worried.
Yeah. Still.
No, we'll discuss.
Okay. Well, I have a kitty now, so you have to open it.
All right.
And explain.
Okay. So we were in Regina, Saskatchewan, which is actually where you were born. And yes, Regina is a real name of a real place.
It's the capital of Saskatchewan, which is also a real place.
I know.
right near Moose Jaw, which is also a real place.
It's true. So we saw a bunch of signs for the breweries and stuff around there, and we kept seeing a sign for dill pickle beer.
Yeah, it wasn't a brewery. It's kind of like a liquor store that has their own brands of beer.
There we go.
So there is a brewery somewhere, but anyway.
But yeah, so we decided we were going to check this out while we were in Regina. So we are going to be sharing a dill pickle beer. I'm going to open it right now so you can hear it. Ready? That was splattery. It's gonna clean that off.
Oh no, the equipment!
Okay, that's real. That's real life there. So this is dill pickle beer. We actually had one before.
Yeah,
and we're gonna share again.
It, yeah.
The dog seems to want the dill pickle beer. You're not gonna get it.
She's also kind of concerned about the kitty cat, but
this is bizarre because when you smell it, it smells like a bag of dill pickle chips.
And it kind of tastes like it too.
In
liquid form. Like, I don't know. It's very strange.
I really like it, but I have a huge thing for dill pickles. So.
Oh my goodness, does it ever smell like like it's just dill pickle chips, I swear. Like, it doesn't smell like dill pickle, like a little bit like dill pickles, but mostly dill pickle
chips specifically. Okay, what do you think of the dill pickle beer?
It tastes like dill pickle chips. It just does, yeah.
I really like it anyway. So that's fun.
We only got one can though. We should have probably got more. It's like a cool special treat. I think you could only have one. We're sharing this one even.
I could probably drink one, but I love dill pickles, and I'm saying I could probably only drink one.
Yeah,
at a time.
It's not something that you sit down and have a bunch of drinks of, but
true.
It's interesting. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Very true. I am sad we don't have any more after this, though. So, if you're in Regina and you want to send us some dill pickle beer.
Whew. It's very dill pickly.
Also, Brandon.
Yes.
While we're doing all this, we have an Ahsoka episode. Spoiler-free gut reaction, episode 3. What did you think?
I liked it. There's some good space action in this, which was very cool. I think Mandalorian has had some space action, but it's mostly not been very good.
Right.
I thought this was better.
Okay. I heard a lot of people say this was very Star Wars. They felt very Star Wars watching this.
It did feel very Star Wars.
Yeah. I have a coworker who's a big Star Wars fan, and he and I were having... Well, I have a couple coworkers who are big Star Wars fans. He and I were having a big conversation about this, and he says it's like he absolutely loves it, and it's one of his favorite things. But I haven't talked about episode 3 yet with someone who hasn't seen any Rebels.
Yeah, I don't...
We did talk to one listener who hadn't seen Rebels. They liked Ahsoka, but that was only after the first couple episodes. So as we go further into it, I want to check back in with her.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you don't need to have seen Rebels, but
She said she liked the first 2 episodes.
Do
you know what I think is the problem? I think a problem would be if you'd seen everything except Rebels. If you just haven't seen a lot of stuff, you just are like used to there being holes.
Still, this is leaning very, very heavily on Rebels specifically. And like, if you hadn't seen any of the animation at all, you'd be like, well, I don't know. Who the heck is Ahsoka?
I guess you'd have figured that out during Mandalorian, though.
Yeah. Who the heck is that?
Exactly. Apparently Filoni did say this is supposed to be Rebels the next season. It's just it's literally what it feels like.
It's literally Rebel season 5.
What I do like, weird, apparently now we haven't seen season 4 yet. We are still kind of watching Rebels. We haven't seen season 4 yet, but apparently
we also haven't seen season 3 or half of season 2.
Agreed. But anyway, there's like stuff that they say happens that is never shown in Rebels. So there's stuff that we are assuming happened between the end of season 4 and this season.
Right.
But so like in that way everyone's in the dark on that, so I like that better, I think.
Yeah. Like I said, it's very Star Wars to have holes and like
exactly.
have your imagination fill it in. It's still relying a little bit too much on an emotional connection to characters that you've met previously in a different show with a different medium.
The reason I love Ahsoka is because of Clone Wars. I'm not going to lie. Like, her arc through all that, right?
Very interesting because when Clone Wars start, like, because there was a... Clone Wars was interesting because there was an animated movie originally with a completely different animation style. 2D animation, kind of weird looking, and then they remade the whole thing as a movie that they released in theaters.
Yes.
With the 3D that you know from the series, and then they continued it on with the series, and that's where you met Ahsoka, and she was absolutely hated at the beginning.
Yeah, but she didn't end up that way.
Kind of annoying, and then after season 1 of that show, she started being written a little better, and
she wasn't just a plot device.
Yeah, and it made more sense, and
now she's loved.
Yeah, now she's like one of the favorite Star Wars characters.
Totally.
Like right up there with original trilogy people.
Which is, I think that says a lot for her. So, I don't know. And like I said before, I love Rosario Dawson. I really like the characters they've been able to bring back from Rebels to play them in live action. I feel like it's very Star Wars. I'm going to be 100% honest. It is not Mandalorian and it's not Andor, but I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I quite like this last episode. It was a little short.
Yeah. I'm trying to be spoiler free here also, by the way.
It did, I don't know, it did cool stuff. Like,
yeah. Yay, Star Wars.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, fair enough. Last thing in our intro here before we go to the news, better know a listener. Oh, yes, I will drink the dill pickle beer while you do this.
Well, last week we went really far.
We were in England.
We were in England.
Yes.
very far
Where
away.
your parents are right now?
Well,
No, they're not in England right now.
no, they're not. They're in Scotland.
Unless, depending on when you're listening to this, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know their full itinerary, but they started in Scotland. I'm pretty sure they're still in Scotland.
They are right now when we're recording this.
But they're gonna make their way there.
Yes.
Anyway, we're gonna go a lot closer to home this time.
Oh, okay. On this side of the pond?
This side of the pond.
The pond?
The pond.
The pond.
No.
We were too British last time.
Oh, okay. No. Kamloops, British Columbia.
Oh, that's like comparatively right next door.
Basically,
when we're talking Europe.
Very close. It's like half a day's drive away.
Cool. We have listeners in Kamloops.
Oh yes.
Hi, Kamloops.
Kamloops. I've been there. Have you been to Kamloops?
I have been to Kamloops.
Kamloops is a nice little place.
Have we not been there together?
I don't know. It's a little farther north than where we've gone, I think.
Okay, but yes, I have been to Kamloops.
We've driven through Kelowna, which is
Yes.
nearby Kamloops,
Yes.
and I always get the two confused because they both start with K
and they're kind of in the same vicinity.
kind of in the same, and they have the same vibe. Anyway,
Yeah.
Definitely been to Kamloops. I don't think I've been with you.
Mm.
That whole area is on fire right now, which is kind of too bad. So if
Yeah.
you're listening from Kamloops, I hope the smoke's not too bad. I don't know.
Yeah, stay safe, and I hope everything's okay.
But Kamloops is a pretty cool town. It's at the junction of two rivers, both called the Thompson River.
What?
North Thompson River and the Thompson River. I guess
Okay.
that Thompson guy was real important. I don't
He
know.
was super important.
Yeah.
Good job, Thompson.
We're just really liked
or
rivers.
bad job, Thompson. I don't know. Sometimes you don't get named for good things.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Thompson?
Yeah. So it's very rivery,
Rivery.
and then like the Thompson River basically starts right near Kamloops, so it starts from a lake and then
okay.
it goes into a river, so it's very watery, and that's pretty cool. Apparently it was incorporated in 1893
Whoa.
with 500 residents.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And there apparently has been native settlements dating back like 2,000 years there.
That whole area.
Yeah. The native name for the area, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
Can I see it?
Well,
I won't try and pronounce it.
It's right here.
Oh, okay. I can see why that's Kamloops, though.
Right.
It's the TK, which we have sometimes, and it's like, okay, I am going to try and pronounce it. To Kamloops.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's where the city gets its
100%.
name.
That's a lot better than some bastardizations of the names.
And basically it means meeting of water or something like that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. It's also, it's known for the Kamloops Blazers.
Oh, okay.
The WHL team. We've seen them play.
Woo hockey.
Blue hockey. Yeah. It's almost hockey season. It's almost hockey season.
Yeah, I've noticed you started like watching a little bit more. There's been a little bit more news with the hockey. You're getting the itch a little bit.
Little bit. Yeah. Of course, it was an important trading post with all the rivers and stuff.
Yes.
Lots of trading. It had some really bad times with smallpox and tuberculosis back in the day.
Right.
Not great.
Right.
But it's known as the tournament capital of Canada.
What?
Apparently they really like their sports there.
Really?
Well,
I didn't know they were big enough to have such a...
Tournament capital of Canada hosts more than 100 sporting tournaments each year, including hockey, baseball, curling, etc.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they just like lean into that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, Kamloops. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I knew they had teams, because like you said, we've seen the WHL and so on and so forth.
And it's also home to Thompson Rivers University, which makes sense why it's called that.
Thompson
there's
Rivers, there's
two rivers, yeah.
Okay.
And it's a pretty big university, so it kind of dominates the town, just like where we went to school, where there was lots of school in a smaller town.
3/4 students, I swear.
Small city with big post-secondary. It kind of changes the culture of the town, so yeah.
It's true. Do you know, in the small city where we met and went to school and stuff like that, it was like 2/3 population female to male?
Yeah, because there was lots of teachers and lots of nurses.
Yeah, so there's a college and university, and the biggest thing at the college was nursing, and it is one of the best universities in Canada, which is bizarre because it's a small little university comparatively, for teaching. And so it draws a lot, like traditionally speaking. So it was like, what was it, like 4-1 or 3-1?
It was
women to
very
men?
high, and the like engineering department, which is your typical large intake of male students is not very big there. So
No.
didn't have anything to offset. That's why I went there.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So Kamloops.
Yeah, Kamloops.
That's really cool. So if you're from Kamloops, definitely should say hi. Hi, Kamloops. That might be the closest one you've done.
That is the closest one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too close because we probably know the people listening. If
I
they're
think
real
you
close.
should. I think we should just randomly. Hi, Lindsay. It's Lindsay, isn't it?
Yeah, so there you go. Kamloops. Let's go to the news.
Disney A News Update. Hey, Brandon, do you know how... Okay, so we're recording this on September 1st. We're recording it a couple days before it's released, of course, like we always do. Since it's September 1st, I have a question for you. This is kind of the bridge between summer and autumn, right?
Well, Green Day's going down for their month-long nap.
Wake me up. Nicely done. So I have a question for you. What do you call a pumpkin that works at the beach?
I don't know.
A lifeguard.
Oh. Was that some small revenge for making you having to watch the Magical Gourd last year at this time?
Oh, I'm not anywhere close to revenge for that.
Just a tiny bit.
A tiny bit. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Oh, just one more question. What is a pumpkin's favorite sport? Squash.
Ah.
That makes sense.
But it's pumpkin, not a squash, so... Again, squash and pumpkin are completely different.
Totally, but anyway.
If you try and carve a squash, and because there's no pumpkins in the grocery store for Halloween, it doesn't work very well.
It's not the same.
It doesn't work very well.
All right, so I have a bunch of news. Basically, two big things happen in Disneyland, and everything's kind of centered around them. So first of all, it's September 1st. This was my Segui. That was my bad pun Segui. Okay. Which means it's officially spooky season.
It is.
At least at the Disneyland Resort and in my heart.
I think most people, as soon as Starbucks releases their pumpkin spice latte,
Woo!
it's spooky season.
Guess how many pumpkin spice lattes I've had already?
3.
They were all cold.
They were all cold ones.
Yeah.
They were all cold ones.
Yeah.
Which is smart if you're going to have early PSL season.
Yeah. Cold brews.
Have cold ones.
I literally
You've had two cold brews, and a frozen one.
I had a frozen one today. The first time a cold brew hit my lips, though, I think I danced.
Yeah, you did the PSL dance.
So let's talk spooky season first of all.
Sure.
This literally came out the day we recorded. So we may have mentioned it, but I want to just talk about it again because now it's officially spooky season. We have 2 new villains coming to Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yes, we did talk about this because we saw the video and we were reacting to it live.
We're like, oh my god! But I found the name. It's Yokai.
Okay.
Is the name of the villain from Big Hero 6 and Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They are confirmed. They are coming. We cannot believe the Roger Rabbit thing. The other thing makes total sense. They just opened San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco makes perfect sense. But, pulling in a kind of semi-obscure these days. Roger Rabbit used to be huge.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad that it's not anymore.
Very.
Because it's a very good movie. But they continually bring back Mad Madam Mim, which
That's
is
true.
very obscure.
And she's fantastic.
So, I don't know. It's not that unusual.
Yeah, she's kind of like a cult favorite almost.
Poor Summit is wondering who we're talking to. We are confusing her poor little
Border
doggy,
Collie brain.
Yeah,
Hi, honey.
Her neurotic Border Collie brain. It's okay, Summit.
Okay, so we have a bunch of merch came out. Some Star Wars merch, including a new Magic Band Plus that's Ahsoka themed.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Because Ahsoka's strolling around in Galaxy. No, did we?
We did talk. She is strolling around now. Yes.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yes, Galaxy's Edge for sure. And then that we're kind of like, oh, that's interesting. But she does border time period, so it still fits. Mm-hmm. But she's definitely grayer. She's right up there with Mando.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the big Mickey pumpkin. We have all the merch. We for Halloween out now. We do have before we get into San Francisco and more Halloween stuff, very quickly the wood carving portraits of Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer Bear have been removed from the Briar Patch gift shop, and they've just been turned into like generic woodland, and I'm kind of disappointed in this, actually.
I'm not surprised that they removed it.
I'm surprised they did it now.
I thought they would retheme like the whole gift shop before they took all that down.
Like do it all at the same time.
And what they replaced them with are like really ugly. So
well, and they're woodland. Like if you're gonna be replacing them, why are they not replacing them with like either swamp things or I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Well, the swamp thing would be in Marvel's campus because.
Oh my god.
No? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right. Okay. The next thing, and this... No, I'm going to come back to the big thing. You know what I'm talking about, the big thing? Okay. I'm going to come back to it. So, the Gate Bridge is officially open in San Francisco.
Everything's open in San Francisco.
And when they opened it, that was the signal that we are now open. Baymax is meeting and greeting.
They did a lot of soft opening stuff. They changed over some of the restaurants and they put up a little bit of decoration. But they did a lot at the end.
Yeah, you could tell that they were really doing like, this is the grand finale. Yeah. Welcome. So we just have been watching some videos and looking at some pictures and stuff. Really impressed with this one.
It looks good. Like it's very purely cosmetic. It's still a food court. Like we're not changing.
Yeah, but it's a themed food court now.
Yeah, it was themed before, but the theme was very boring.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like it was an afterthought theme almost.
It was a theme based on a place in the real world, so it's like fake real world. Whereas this is fantasy, so you can do a little bit more stuff and bright colors and cool stuff and things like that. And the new food looks really good.
Yeah.
The Baymax meet and greet looks fantastic.
Amazing. So opening day, the wait was approximately 3 hours.
Or more.
So you could meet Baymax, Hero, or both of them together. But the thing is, they cycled, and if you got to the front of the line, it was your turn, and it was just Hero there, and you were waiting for Baymax. You are meeting Hero, and that's it.
Yeah, which would be kind of sad if you sat there for 3 hours.
No offense to Hero, but I mean, you get it. It's Baymax. Like, come on here. So we are not wait in line and meet people typically. I mean, if it's a short line.
I would not wait 3 hours for...
Never. No.
Unless it was, like, actual Darth Vader that would force choke me with the real force, then maybe I would wait for 3 hours.
So no, even Baymax, I'm not waiting 3 hours. But I would wait, like, a few minutes for him for sure. I'd wait a little bit more than you would for anyone. But I would be disappointed if I got to the front, and I'd be very happy to meet Baymax and Hero together. But if it's just Hero, I mean, sorry, buddy. Like, I like you and everything, but you're not Baymax.
Yeah, you're gonna... I'm very surprised. Like, you think you'd be able to cycle through Baymax, like, you just change the person in the costume.
I don't know.
It should basically be Baymax there the whole time. If you ask me,
yep,
that's what people are going to be waiting for, and you're going to have a lot of upset kids if they're you
have a little kid who's been waiting that whole time. Mm-hmm. So there's a Baymax sipper. There's of course the Baymax sourdough. All of that debuted with the opening of San Francisco.
New Big Hero 6 merch, including
tons
cute stuffies and things like that. So very exciting times for Big Hero 6 fans
good.
Like myself.
Yeah, we really like Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6 Part 2 when?
And if you haven't seen the Baymax shorts,
those are
they're
good too.
Great. And they all work together. Like you watch them separately, but the last one definitely works on the other ones. So we have the let's talk Halloween now. So we have the spooky popcorn buckets, which we've talked about before. They've officially dropped. The characters showed up in their costumes today for the first time. They look good. They're like almost vintagey looking. Pluto is adorable. They've all kind of got bat thing going on right now.
Oh, they're all like vampire kind of thing.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. I like Donald's teeth. He's not quite candy corn.
They're all vampires. Mm-hmm. I like last year's costumes.
I don't know. Chippendale almost looked like Ghost, like the ghosts from Haunted Mansion.
Oh, and Daisy's a witch.
Totally. But they're all in the same color scheme. They're in that green and that orange.
Last year's was way better. It was a very cool...
they were handmade.
The homemade style.
Yeah.
Like vintage homemade Halloween costumes.
Mm-hmm.
They all look great. These ones are like
I think they're okay.
They're
but
like a
last
C
year's...
minus.
No, I would rate them.
C-minus.
I would rate them higher than that, but last year's were better. I will give you that for sure. They are so good. Haunted Mansion Holiday has reopened. The gingerbread house this time has like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a glowing, like I don't know. Maybe you can describe it.
Is
better.
there a picture?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Von Ginger. It's a ghost named Von Ginger who's bringing you something.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Holiday fruitcake, maybe? So this is different. Last year we had the guillotine. That was cool because we saw that one in person. So that one's my favorite. So anyway, that's kind of cool. Boom. And then, of course, all the treats and everything, they're officially out now. But there's some big Disneyland news. Do you have anything to add before we get to that? Because this is big news and I want to talk about it a little bit.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so do you like how I was just talking about Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
I was trying to end with that so I could segui.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to work on my seguis this episode.
Good job. So smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth as butter. Perfect.
Okay.
No notes.
Disney has announced an expansion to the Haunted Mansion grounds and a retail shop coming in 2024.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, right. The additions will build on the story and lore of the Haunted Mansion and will include an expanded outdoor queue to immerse guests in enhanced theming, as well as a new retail shop adjacent, not an exit through the gift shop, but right beside.
You can bypass it as you come out the exit, but it's gonna be like, hey, look at this cool shop that you for the ride you just were on. No, it's
so
right there. It's right there.
We had an in-depth look at the concept art. Yep. So the queue is very much like we're wandering through the gardens, and it's really like expanding on the Haunted Mansion itself. And it kind of overlaps into the new Tiana's Palace area a little bit. Well, it provides additional seating there a little bit.
Basically, there's a garden beside the Haunted Mansion now with
a fountain.
With a fountain, and it looks like it could be kind of like a garden that belongs to the mansion, but the fence of the mansion cuts it off. But they do use it for overflow queuing.
Like on September 1st when Haunted Mansion Holiday opens.
Yeah. Right. So it makes sense to re-theme it and pull it in as part of the mansion grounds, because some of that queue of the Haunted Mansion is pretty lame.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's true. It's just like back and forth.
The outside of the house is very cool.
Yeah.
They have lots of good theming, but there's that one little area where it's just switchback, and it's
totally
not the best.
Big empty space with chains and ropes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's going to be cool, and it's very interesting that they're building a gift shop on the other side. Mm-hmm. Basically going to be butting up against formerly Splash Mountain.
Yep.
Which is basically going to be absorbed by New Orleans Square now.
We've been saying this since they announced it, but the gift shop itself is like Madame Leota themed more. It looks more, so I think it will fit with the swampy area that they're going with for that.
It's smart to make it Madame Leota themed because she's a fortune teller. And so that can, like, very easily tie into some voodoo.
Like Madame Odie.
Yeah, voodoo, Bayou Witch type of stuff.
There literally is a Bayou Witch in
Yeah, exactly.
Frog, yeah.
So, but, like, the theming of the building...
Mama Odie, not Madame, sorry.
Looks like it could be in the Bayou.
Totally.
And be a Bayou Witch.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see what this is going to look like. We kind of are hypothesizing that when they close down end of January, beginning of February to do their changeover back normal, they'll just probably stay closed a little bit longer.
And do whatever they need to do that requires the ride to be closed.
But for the most part,
I don't
think it's going to affect the ride itself, or if it does, minimally.
Very minimally.
Yeah, we're not looking at this is going to be closed for a year while they do this or anything.
Well, they have to close for a couple weeks to do the inside
Exactly.
anyway. They can do whatever they need to do that blocks entrances or whatever at that same time. Have two different crews working and then reopen the ride.
Totally.
And continue whatever work they need to do then. So
what is interesting here is there is a gift shop in New Orleans Square already that Pieces of Eight has Haunted Mansion stuff, and then you move into, I think it's called Port Orleans?
It's Port Royale.
Port Royale, sorry, thank you. And that has most of the Haunted Mansion stuff. So we were discussing what we think is going to... Because obviously Haunted Mansion stuff is going to go...
It has Haunted Mansion and Nightmare Before Christmas stuff.
Yes, and we feel like that's going to be moving now to this, whatever it's going to be called, Madame Leota-esque, the exit through the gift shop, right? What do you think... I know we've discussed this already, but let's do it now for the podcast. What do you think is going to go in Port Royale?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just going to become like a general New Orleans Square gift shop that'll have a little bit of everything.
Right. I 100% agree. It's not going to be themed to one specific thing. It'll just be in general.
You'll just have like all your ears and all your lounge flies and I don't know, whatever, pins and stuff.
The highlights from
your highlights
everything.
Of everything.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, we've got Baymax, we've got Haunted Mansion, we've got Halloween, we've got like crazy stuff happening. Any more news? Or do you want to get to Camp Rock?
Not really, but
oh, I guess I just spoiled it.
No, you didn't. It's fine. No, the strikes are still on, so that's gonna really start affecting some stuff.
It really is.
Soon.
Like very soon.
Some movies are already starting to get delayed because, of course, while the strike is on, they can't promote it.
Right.
Even if it's they can technically release it, but it's tough to release a big movie without promotion. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna start hurting, and that's when these strikes actually get solved because.
No, that's true. It has to affect something.
There needs to be leverage. Like, you can't strike without leverage. So and the way the industry works, it takes time to get the leverage, right? So
yeah,
we shall see. But fingers crossed that they come to an agreement and it's suitable to pay everyone involved properly.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, nothing's going to change without the pressure, and so maybe it's a positive that these things are happening now, because I don't know. You're right.
I don't know. A little bit of bad experience with labor stoppages affecting my entertainment, so...
Yeah. Okay, fair.
As a hockey fan, we've had bad lockouts before.
Fair enough. Yeah,
it's not good.
All right. Let's move to the main topic.
Disney Plus and chill.
Did you ever go to camp?
No, actually.
I did.
Yeah, no, the only camps around here were religious camps, and
well, that's what I went to.
Yeah, I wanted to go to like a science camp or something.
Oh yeah, they have those too.
Not anywhere around here, but or just like a regular just camp where you can roast marshmallows and canoe and stuff without, I don't know, having sermons at the end of the day, right? Like
to be fair, we started our day with sermons.
Oh, okay.
Totally
well,
different.
yeah, no. Anyway, I didn't do any of that.
But I also did Girl Guide camp when I was younger.
Right. I didn't go far enough in. I was in Beavers, which is the precursor to Scouts,
equivalent of our brownies.
Right. I didn't go far enough in that to get where you would go camping.
Fair enough.
We had a couple sleepovers and stuff,
yeah,
but it was not outdoors or anything like that.
Oh, we had a sleepover in the dinosaur museum near where I live.
That's...
We fought over who got to sleep under the Tyrannosaurus, and we won.
Yeah, that's
2 years in a row.
That's very cool. I was just in the community center on the gym floor.
It's not the same.
No.
We also had a sleepover in Girl Guides at the Calgary Zoo, and we slept by the polar bear polar bear
which
pen.
They don't even have anymore.
They don't even have it anymore. We were like, it was 2 years before they closed it. Isn't that cool?
That is pretty cool.
And we also had campouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like weekend long things.
That's pretty neat. The coolest sleepover I ever did was, again, this is like throwback to Regina time. I had a sleepover at the Regina Science Center where we actually watched Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that is where we watched Oppenheimer.
IMAX was. But
they've renovated since then.
Yes. Specifically the movie theater area, but the rest of the place is kind of... Anyway, That was cool. Sleeping in a science center.
That is cool.
I made very good friends with the resident iguana.
Oh, very cool.
Which
I'm not surprised you found an animal to love you.
Yeah, and the staff was very surprised because apparently that iguana was very crabby and didn't like anybody
except you.
Except
we
me.
also really liked in the Dinosaur Museum. There was like this hallway that had all the ocean animals like painted on it, and it was very cool to like sleep in there because it was kind of like
that'd be relaxing.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So we did that one year too.
I'm a big fan of ocean stuff. So
yeah, so we did that. So that was very cool. But we also did campouts. But I actually went to like week-long summer camp kind of thing. In high school.
I always wanted to.
Yeah.
There's lots of movies about it.
Yeah.
And things
do you
like
that. That's where I'm going with this.
Yes. I assume I don't know. I made you watch these movies.
Yes.
I assume it's like a summer camp.
Yes.
But it's
about rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. So in 2008, Camp Rock came out, starring the Jonas Brothers. And I just want to read you a tweet from 2018. 10 years of Camp Rock, and I'm still bitter we lost, by Joe Jonas.
Oh, were they like on either opposite sides of the camp?
Okay, I'm going to explain.
Okay.
There's a whole story. But I'm just liking that 10 years after the fact, he was tweeting about it. So Camp Rock has the Jonas Brothers. The first one has the oldest one, who I think is Joe, and Demi Lovato. And Demi Lovato's in both of them. So this is where, this wasn't her first role, but it's where she, like, became most well-known.
Right.
This was, like, so the 2000s was a super fun, I've watched a lot of Disney Channel movies at this point. Thank you for that, by the way. But the 2000s was like the height of it, right? This was right after High School Musical. Camp Rock would be not as big as High School Musical, but it was the second highest.
It was a spiritual successor, and like, I mean, the Jonas Brothers got pretty big.
Totally. So I'm going to talk about all that, but kind of. But in the, I don't know, 2000s ranking, I guess, of not necessarily best, but just popularity, it goes High School Musical, Camp Rock, and then I think the Teen Beach movies.
Oh, really? Because I'd never heard of those before.
I had, and the only reason I have, like, this might be the teacher voice talking, is my students who would have been kids when those came out are obsessed, right? And so that just tells you, like, the popularity of them to their target audience.
What about the zombies?
That would have been right in there with I think that and Teen Beach movies are right close. And actually, Cheetah Girls would have been, like, right in the same kind of vein. I liked Teen Beach Movie way better than Cheetah Girls. Like, Teen Beach Movie is way smarter than it should be, and it's way better than it should be.
Teen Beach Movie saved because it's high concept, and they can lean into that.
Totally.
And there's extra layers there. Yeah, Cheetah Girls just look bad to me, so...
Yeah.
I
actually, okay.
Without having watched either of them, I agree with you.
Here we go. I'm going to say something crazy, and this is nothing to do with Camp Rock. Teen Beach Movie is the Disney Channel preteen 2000s version of the Barbie movie.
Okay. I guess.
If you put both of them together, because the sequels do different things.
Right.
Okay. So anyway.
It is smarter than it has any right to be.
Right? And I was watching and I was like, what is happening here? Like, so Camp Rock, first, okay.
Not smarter than it has
No. We're going to back up here. There's some precursors that I have to say here. So first of all, Blind Date with Disney, and you said that you put 2 movies on for me.
Yes.
If you're just joining us, what we do with Blind Date with Disney is we pick movies for the other one and put them on our watch list. And then the person doesn't know what they're going to watch until they sit down and actually watch them. And you said 2, and I got very concerned because it was exactly 1 year ago. Because I was heading into school, and you were like, oh, it's almost fall. I'm going to find a fall time movie for you to watch. And you made me watch the worst movie I've watched, like, maybe ever. But it was The Magic Gourd, or The Secret of the Magic Gourd, or something. It was not good. It was really bad. It was so bad, which you thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So I was so nervous. And then...
Did you really think I would be able to find 2... movies that are related that are that bad?
Yes! I can't believe you found one that was that bad.
Yeah, but like, if it's that bad, it's not getting a sequel.
I don't know. Anyway, it was bad. And so I got really nervous. And then I was pleasantly surprised tonight when I sat down and saw Camp Rock 1 and 2, because I actually said I wanted to watch them.
Yes, you've always said you kind of wanted to watch them.
So I was like, oh, this isn't going to be painful at all.
This was originally picked for last week when you said you wanted to do a blind date.
Yes, but then we ended up having so much news we didn't.
We had so much news, and we were having to go camping, so we recorded early, so you didn't have time to watch a movie. Anyway, it was in honor of us camping as well.
Right, so I liked it because last year it was a Hello Fall.
This
felt like
summer.
a goodbye. Exactly. And I did go to camp, and we did sing things. We didn't generally choreograph and harmonize like
Probably
that.
wasn't rock music either. It was probably
it was more like Christian rock.
super
Yeah, no, it was good.
awesome.
Let's talk about the plots. We already said Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers. These are the selling features. This is what these movies are most known for. They are Disney Channel original movies.
Yes, they are.
The main character, Demi Lovato's character, is named Mitchie.
Great name.
Great, right? And I was like, oh, okay.
What's that short for?
I have no idea. It's never said throughout the entire thing.
Michelle?
Maybe.
What?
Doesn't matter.
It
Does not.
It
It's
matters a little to
literally-
me. It matters a little to me. What did her parents name her?
Maybe they named her Mitchie. You don't know.
Well, then they should be in jail. Believe it or not, straight to jail.
Okay. Anyway, movie opens last day of school for Mitchie, and mom's calling her to go get ready for school.
Does it say what grade?
No. And that's important because the whole time I was like, how old are they?
Yeah.
You get the idea that they're teenagers, but young teenagers. And that was actually a big thing that Disney Channel did. Unless it was important to be like, what grade are you going into? Like senior year or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or this is my first year in high school.
Yeah, like High School Musical, they didn't really... The first one, they didn't really establish what grade they were in.
Mm-hmm. You find out later it's 10 because they did 3 movies and the last one was senior year.
Exactly.
Yeah. This Cheetah Girls mattered because it was like, now that we're in high school, we can go into this talent show. Like, it was that whole thing. And then it was like, they had to have the excuse of one going to university after, so they like made it so they graduated. You know, like, so they made that work, kind of. High School Musical takes place in a school. This takes place during summer. We don't know how old they are.
Right.
We get their teenagers, but they're young teenagers. They're specifically young teenagers. Everyone at the camp, apparently, is approximately the same age in the first movie. They talk about junior rockers, but we don't really see them or anything.
Because they're not important.
Well, until the second one.
Oh.
So the first movie, we open with Mitchie, and it's her last day of school, and she really wants to go to Camp Rock, and she keeps leaving brochures all around the house, and her mom is like...
Do you have to audition for Camp Rock?
No, you don't. But there are other...
So you can have 0 musical talents and go to Camp Rock.
Yeah, you just have to feel the music.
Okay. Feel that might cause problems, but okay.
Nope, it's okay. So she really wants to go, and she's talking to her mom breakfast the last day, and we find out mom runs a catering company because she's making her breakfast, and she's like, oh, mom, it's looks so good. And she says, I know you've been leaving these brochures all around the house, but we just can't swing Camp Rock. We don't have the money. Dad apparently owns or manages or runs or something a hardware store. Mom has just started a catering company. It's doing well, but they're starting business. They like new businesses, right? They're not sending their kid to camp, rock camp. And so she's pretty sad, but she's like, I understand. She goes to school. She has her friend that we see once for about 30 seconds, and they discuss, not really, but they discuss how important Camp Rock is. They're like, literally, like, talent scouts come to the last show. If you want to like make it in the music industry, this is like a really good like first step, but it's also like a really great time to just have summer surrounded by music.
Do we know what area of the country is this, like a California type of place?
Probably, but it's very generic. The whole thing is very generic.
Right, so it doesn't really matter, but we assume, like, there's talent agents and stuff. It's probably California.
Or California adjacent.
California works because, like, you have the big cities, and then they can go off to camp.
Yeah, totally.
That's your
and they're out in the middle of the woods by a lake, and
stereotypical camp.
It suits really well.
Yeah. Is there a hidden serial killer in this movie?
None.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Okay, we're like in the first 5 minutes of the first movie. You gotta let me get through this.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just.
There's 2 movies going on.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around.
No serial killer in a
what
camp
the
movie.
plot
Okay.
is like, because
I'm
most
working there.
movies where I watch where there's a summer camp,
There's a serial killer.
there's a serial killer,
Yeah.
which is why I always wanted to go to summer camp. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
That's kind of concerning.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of concerning.
Yeah.
But then she comes home from school and she finds out parents are all excited. She does get to go to camp because it's a slow season for the catering company and the camp was in need of a new cook. So the mom has agreed to go.
Oh, you could be super cool. You go with your mom.
She's just excited. She keeps saying she just wants to spend a summer surrounded by music and exploring that. Of course, we open the credits with a montage about like that, and
then it's like this one time at band camp.
pretty much. A little bit different, but pretty much. So she's like, yeah, absolutely. She says,
Speaking of the 90s.
Yeah, no kidding, hey. And she says, yeah, and so for helping me in the kitchen, like, you're a camper, but if you help me, like, a certain amount of time in the kitchen, you can go at a discounted rate, so then you can go to camp, and that will make that work. And she's just excited. They pull up to camp. She's super excited. She has no qualms about going with her mom whatsoever. She's very happy to be there. She starts meeting people. She meets one girl that is like super nice. She meets another one who like shows up in a limo. And you find out that girl.
Was it Sharpie?
It's basically the Sharpie character.
It would be cool if it was Sharpie, like a crossover. You could have like a Disney Channel cinematic universe.
Yeah. What?
They would do that now.
They would. Instead of the MCU, it would be the DCU. No. DCCU, Disney Channel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, DCU was taken.
That's true. DCCU.
Well, I guess it's the DCEU, but anyway, RIP to the DCEU.
Anyway. But it's the Sharpie-like character. We find out her mom has like a bunch of Grammys and is a very famous singer, and she thinks a lot of herself. So that's basically where the drama is. It's very like... So we find out that Mitchie gets nervous singing in front of people. And
the Coyote Ugly plot.
Coyote Ugly. That's exactly what I thought of. So she has a book of music and she likes singing in front of people. But we also have that she wants to impress these like wealthy people who are at this camp, like the girl whose mom is a Grammy-winning artist. And so she lies about her mom being like a president of this like record company or this media company or something, and then she's
good
like
plan, yeah.
Totally not like her mom's there and could like whatever. So she has a really good voice, and so people hear her sing a couple times, and she ends up like in this group but singing back up to this other girl. She's also really nervous. Meanwhile, as she's like singing to herself one day, we find out that the Jonas Brothers, except they're not called the Jonas Brothers in this movie, they're called Connect 3.
There's 3 of them?
Yes, because there's 3 brothers.
Oh. I thought there was only 2 brothers.
No, there's 3.
Oh. Well, that just goes to show you how much you know about the Jonas Brothers.
So the oldest one, apparently there's a bunch of drama, and we see this kind of on the news before the movie starts, or when the movie starts, with the one, and he's got like an attitude, and so the agent and the record company, everything decided to send him back to camp because his uncle runs this camp, and this is where the 3 boys met like and solidified their sound or whatever. So it's like their starting point. So they're alum, and it's gonna look the record label thinks it's gonna look really good for his image. They're trying to reform his image, right? So they're gonna send him back to camp where he's gonna like help his uncle out running this camp, and then he's going to record a duet with the winner of. They have this big grand finale concert at the end.
This is the oldest Jonas.
The oldest Jonas brother,
which is
Joe, I think.
Joe.
I'm not really sure. I can point at them.
Well, Joe's the one that's married to Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, who played Sansa.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they got married.
Ooh.
I think they're still married as well.
Joe, the oldest one, the one who was the co-star with Demi Lovato, they dated for a while.
Yes.
Like I'm talking like a couple months kind of thing, right? Like during the making of one of these movies.
It's super common. Like you have kids basically doing acting and like they have to pretend to like each other, and you're casting.
They actually have good chemistry.
You're casting these things, and you have to have chemistry, and because you're cast, you're obviously attractive people. Like it makes sense that they would
Yeah.
end up dating. Like,
Totally. No, they have good chemistry, and I guess they've been like they maintained their friendship
That's
well
good.
past that. The other one, tangent with Demi Lovato here. She was in Glee, and she
that must
had
have been later seasons.
Yeah, no, did like when the main cast went to college.
Okay.
She worked with
I didn't
the
see any of
Santana character who died, the one who drowned.
Yeah.
And they had good chemistry. I don't think they really had a love interest, but there was definitely like sparks there, kind of thing. There was like a skirting around. And yeah, I guess they also maintained their friendship after. Because Demi Lovato is like, I think she said that she's currently pansexual.
Yes, and she again was also non-binary for a while.
Yes, she's gender fluid, and she
she's-
goes by she, her, or they, them.
Yes, she was like hard into they them for
Yes.
a while. Now she's like back to being she her, which I mean
Was
whatever.
totally
whatever
fine,
you
but that's why
want.
that is why we're saying she at this
Yeah.
point anyway. Like, we are aware of that. If we're ever not though, like, and you message us, like, we're sorry, but by all means, like, tell us. We have no problem being like,
I
oops.
try to be cognizant of that as best I can.
We literally had a conversation about this at work today.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of, it's very interesting. The tangent on pronouns. Our Teams at work has an option to put your pronouns down for.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I do, but it's pretty
yeah.
obvious,
It's
she, her.
it's silly for me because like I'm just basic normal.
You know what,
but
though?
you doing it normalizes it.
So
right?
again, while I'm on this tangent, I listen to a lot of podcasts. We've said that before. One of the ones I listen to is like both a true crime and a supernatural one. It's called That's Why We Drink. Not child friendly, by the way. Any kids that are listening, definitely. There's a lot of profanity in it.
That podcast sounds so cool, but it bothers me that it's called This Is Why We Drink, and one of them doesn't actually drink.
Well, for a while, neither of them did because one was pregnant.
Yeah. So.
But the whole point was it didn't matter if you drank alcohol or sugar, because one drank milkshakes and one drank alcohol.
Yeah.
Anyway, one tells a story about true crime and one tells a story about supernatural something.
Yeah.
But I just was listening to a listener story, and they've started, when the listeners send in whatever name they prefer to be called in the story, as well as their pronouns. And that was the whole thing. They're like, normalize doing that, please.
It. Yeah.
And most of them it was like, my name is Stephanie, and my pronouns are she, her. And they're like, Stephanie, that seems obvious, but thank you for telling us.
Yeah, and if everybody does it, then it's fine. And even like at work, you could be a cis het person, but your name doesn't, and you're emailing, like, you don't know.
Do you want to know how many girls I've taught named Alex?
Yeah, like Alex. There's lots of gender neutral names, and then of course there's lots of foreign names where we don't have a gender bias towards.
Plus, there's ones where we have gender bias where that has shifted. So, for example, I was always a big fan of the Nancy Drew books. Do you know Nancy Drew's best friend is named George, who's a girl?
Really?
Was a very common female name.
It was, yeah.
But, so, like, those are shifting, right?
I did know that about George back in the day. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, Nancy has two best friends, and one is named George, who's a girl. And I'm like, that's always a perfect example to me. Just do that.
But yeah, it's something
Let's do
easy. It's something easy you can do, and it's like, it costs nothing.
Tangent over.
Okay, good tangent.
So anyway, Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
I think Joe is his name. I don't remember.
Do they go by their actual names?
No.
Oh.
But
Well, I know you said they weren't the Jonas Brothers, but I thought maybe their first names were all the same. Because, like, I don't know, the Jonas Brothers don't seem that intelligent to me, so maybe they needed to have their actual names.
In the first movie, the two younger ones definitely play a supporting role. They're mostly, like, they show up once in a while and they go away kind of thing. And I think he's the youngest one. Is supposed to, like, and you could tell it's a caricature, but he's supposed to be kind of dumb, but, like, lovable and, like, just, like, you want to pinch his cheeks, but he's, like, really dumb kind of thing. And the middle one is kind of like the go-between. And the other one has this attitude. So he is there, and he overhears this girl singing, but he doesn't see who's singing. So he's very interested in this voice, and he's like, it kind of reminds him of the music that he used to like when he started playing music. And now, of course, he's all, like, in this pop world where he's like, I play whatever the record label tells me to play, right? But he's like, that reminds me about why I love music, and that's like helping me get back to my roots. And so his uncle is great. His uncle was this guitarist, I think, for like this made up band, but he talks about like it very like 80s rock kind of vibe to him. And he talks like about he talks about other bands that would have been in that vein. So you're gonna get this like washed up old rocker whose uncle
was it like hairband? Or...
Oh yeah, like that would have been the vibe.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Like it's a made up thing, and he doesn't ever talk about it. But he's like,
I...
oh yeah, we opened for Jagger, like that kind of thing.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And he's British, even though the Jonas Brothers don't have any accent whatsoever. But they do say uncle whatever. And so anyway, he runs this camp, and so that's kind of like the in with all that. So camp starts, and he is like doing tough love with the Jonas brother that's there, and he's like, no, you're here, you're gonna like go teach this hip-hop dance class, and you're gonna go do this class, and you're gonna go like you're here to work.
Okay, here's my question with this.
Did I watch Joe Jonas doing hip-hop? Kind of, yes.
No, yeah, well, I'm sorry for that. But no, my question, this is a camp, and so they have like little cabins and stuff where they stay like at any typical summer camp. But they're doing all this music stuff that requires a lot of electricity, so it's a little more built up than most camps, I guess.
Built up than the camp I went to.
Do they still have outhouses?
You don't see that.
Oh, okay. Do they do any camp activities aside from
totally?
The
there's
music?
like canoeing.
Okay.
There's like a water fight at one point. They do like the bonfire, but there's also like always a mini stage by whatever it is. And so there's like, oh, we have open night is bonfire night, and also there's a stage here for like an open mic if anyone wants to do it.
And then they sing Kumbaya.
And then they sing Kumbaya. They do other things, but yes. So yes, there is like actual camp activities. There's like birdhouse. They keep talking about making birdhouses. There's like birdhouse making, but also like, and arts and crafts is like, we can also talk about like costuming and
right. Well yeah. That makes sense.
Totally.
I was just curious as like how they melded the music with
there's definitely like a focus on the music, but there's camp stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So
just like science camp that I wanted to go to.
You're not bitter at all.
No, I'm not.
It's fine. You've totally let it go in the last like 30 years.
30 years later, I'm not bitter. Not bitter. No, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'll get over it someday.
So anyway, Mitchie has this like in with the popular girls, and the girl who's nice to her at the beginning keeps saying like, if you want to be friends with Tess, is the like Sharpay character. She's like, Sharpie. Are you any good at singing? And she says, well, I don't know, like, I guess kind of, but like, I don't really sing in front of people. She's like, okay, well, if you want to be friends with Tess, don't be good at anything.
Oh, she gets jealous and stuff. Yeah, okay.
So even she says like, oh, she asked her to be one of her backup singers in the final concert. And she says, oh, I was thinking of doing solo. And she's like, oh, wow. Your first camp and you're going to do a solo? You must be really brave in front of all those people. Like, she's really playing up, like, finds out what her insecurities are, and like, really, it's very like Disney Channel Mean Girls in like that vibe.
Okay.
So she's got like her two minions basically, and they're nice enough, but they're definitely just follow whatever Sharpie is.
The suspenders?
Totally, and they're yellow.
Yellow?
Yeah, which is like a couple, like the goggles and stuff, and a couple hairs.
And they
definitely
are really into like tropical fruits, like
exactly, like bananas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it continues on. We find out that the girl who was really nice to her actually gets in trouble, and so she is assigned to kitchen duty. So she finds out that the chef is actually, like, the camp cook is actually the mom of this girl who's been saying her mom is like president of whatever. So, but she keeps her secret, and they're kind of like nice to each other. But of course, Tess, the Sharpie character, eventually finds out too, and she's really jealous because at this point, Mitchie and I'm just gonna call Joe Jonas. I don't know what his name is in the movie. It doesn't matter. But they've like kind of become friends, and there's like a little bit of like attraction there between, and you can tell there's like some chemistry, and they're kind of flirting. But I mean, it's a Disney Channel movie, so it's not like they're like making out in the halls or anything like that. Halls in the mess hall or anything. But she's like jealous because he's like a rock star and she wants to be with a rock star. And you also get like, she keeps trying to call her mom, and her mom is like, oh, I'm busy. Like, cause her mom's a Grammy winning artist. And she just keeps saying every time she wins a Grammy, she like buys me a present.
Great.
Yeah.
So
She has this charm bracelet, and she has a charm for every Grammy that her mom has won.
According to The Simpsons, Grammy is the worst major award of the EGOT type of situation.
I believe it.
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons did it.
There's plot lines. Well, Homer's won a lot of awards because it's The Simpsons. He's not.
They've also climbed Everest, to be fair.
His Grammy, he's like,
Oh, it's a Grammy, whatever.
I think he's won a couple Grammys, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Simpsons, it's been on for 30 plus years. Like, what can you do?
So, like, that whole thing goes on. Of course, it comes out. The Sharpie character finds out that the mom is the cook, and she, like, outs it in front of everyone, and it's very embarrassing. And the Jonas Brother is like, you lied to me. I thought we had an understanding, and you understood what it was like. So, it's very dramatic.
So dramatic, I'm sure.
And then the Sharpie character says her charm bracelet has been stolen. And she's sure that Mitchie has stolen it, because if she lied, what else could she do?
Yeah, I mean,
so they confront, so they're all gonna do this, like, grand concert.
Lying is wrong, kids.
It's true.
Unless you can get away with it.
Yeah, well,
then it's fine.
Well, so she does. So she plants the charm bracelet. She gets the head dude, the guy who runs the camp. Brown is his name, or Bronner's name.
He's
or
just
something.
a head?
Yeah,
like
just a head.
Futurama?
Just a head, yeah. It's very synecdoche of you. It's figurative language.
Oh.
I made a poster about it today.
Cool.
Anyway, she gets them, and he says, I'm afraid you can't partake in any more camp activities until the end of the final concert. And they realize that he kept saying the end of the final concert, just like the way I'm saying it now, like really emphasizing the end of the final concert, which means we're going to have a grand finale. So we have the final concert, and people are, like, singing and dancing and blah, 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 blah. And at this point, Joe, I'm pretty sure it's Joe, has kind of, like, redeemed himself, and he's, like, remembered his love of music, and his brothers are there, and they're all judging, and it's all very happy. And Sharpie's character, the Sharpie equivalent, Tess, her two backup dancers,
I'm just literally picturing Sharpie.
Does not matter.
And also her brother gets just, like,
he's
hanging out.
But it's the same base. So do you remember the part where she treats him like crap, and so he's like, "Screw you, I'm going off on my own."
Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's
of course,
standard plot. Yeah.
She's not been very good to her, like, two minions.
Yeah.
And so finally, right before they go on, they're like, "Screw you, forget it," because she's, like, yelling at them again. And okay, so the one is like a hip hop dance that comes out, and the one girl, like, gets up and dances, and that's fine. And then the concert continues on, and she does get up and sing, and her mom shows up. Isn't that nice? And then she takes a phone call in the middle of it, and goes and hides in the background to, like, answer the phone. And she's, like, really upset and almost falls off the stage. So it's, like, very upsetting for her. She was, like, really happy her mom was there, and she was trying to do the show on her, like, her performance on her own without her, like, singers and stuff. Anyway, so she's not gonna win. And then they say, oh, they had a last minute entry. And you're like, oh, it's Mitchie. No, it's not. It's one of the backup girls. And it's like Margaret. And they're like, who the heck is Margaret? We don't know anyone named Margaret. She's been going by Peggy, like, which is a common nickname.
And Peggy!
Exactly. Or something like that. But that's a common nickname for Margaret. It's like the equivalent of, I don't know, Richard and Dick, I guess.
Okay. That was not aware. That's very strange.
In fact, I think that might be Peggy's actual name. Don't know. Hold on. I gotta Google this. It's very important. Margarita is named, her nickname is Peggy. That's a very common thing. Anyway, so she comes out, and she's this, like, background character who's just rolled her eyes a couple times at Tess, who's the Sharpie character. And she sings this fantastic song, and everyone loves it. And it's so good. But yeah, she's standing there, and they're like, Margaret, who the heck is that? And she's like, oh, it's me. And she sings this song about, like, pay attention to me now. And while she's doing it, I swear to God, slow motion montage of the moments we've seen previously where Sharpie, Tess' character, is treating her like garbage in the background that you've, like, never paid attention to before.
Oh. What was it, like, in the actual movie? Or
yes.
Was it, like...
In the movie with, like, a little bit added.
Okay,
where,
a
like,
little bit
a
added,
focus, a focus on her instead of, like, like the camera is normally like back further on the main characters.
So like
but
if you
instead it's,
rewatch the movie, you wouldn't be able to see it, but it's like
you'd be able to see some of it, but not all of it.
okay. It's like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are
Yes,
dead type
totally.
of thing. Okay, yeah.
So she sings it, kills it, right? And then the judges go off, and that's the Jonas Brothers, go off to like make their decision. And while they do that, Mitchie and her friend call over the main guy and they say, we noticed you said it's the end, we can perform now. And he says, oh, I'm glad you caught that. So they sing this song, which is called This Is Me, which was Demi Lovato's first hit, by the way. And that's the song that Joe Jonas's character heard her singing before. And so he like breaks in with this song he's been writing, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's the girl I've been looking for. And so they like basically become a couple, like on stage while singing.
Super awesome.
Peggy, Margaret,
Wins.
Margarita, whatever her name is, wins, of course.
Right.
Which is like, and they're like, oh, I'm really sorry Mitchie didn't win, but the whole thing is that
She wasn't in the competition.
Yeah, and she says, I kind of feel like I did, which was the whole point. She didn't need to win, she just needed to perform in front of people. So she does
we're
that.
We're all winners.
And we're all better people.
Yeah.
Because Tess comes up and is like, you guys were great.
It's like, I learned something today,
I learned something today, yeah. So then we end and camp's over. And we have a big, like, sing-off.
And they all have to go back to school.
And they all have to go back to school. And then they go to High School Musical. No, I'm joking. So then we have Camp Rock 2. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready. Oh my
gosh.
Next
summer.
Next summer.
We find out.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's
Camp
called
Rock 2.
The Final Jam, which is the name of the final concert they give at the end of the summer.
Oh, they make some jam?
They do. Yeah, peach mostly. A little bit of apple. Mm-hmm.
I prefer strawberry.
Yeah,
myself.
and there wasn't lots of strawberry.
Too bad.
I know.
A little bit of blueberry,
we find out Mitchie and Joe Jonas have been like basically messaging for a year.
Just messaging.
Well, whatever. And but they're on their way to camp, like Mitchie and her mom. Her mom is going back to be the cook again.
So it was 2008. They probably like on MSN Messenger at that point.
Probs. Totes. Yo.
Yeah, we didn't talk like that in 2008.
What did we say in 2008?
I don't remember. I just remember it was probably.
Oh my god! Something happened. Like the worst slang ever happened in the first movie. I forgot to tell you.
Ugh.
Ready? Are you ready for it?
No.
It requires hand signals.
No. Okay.
Okay. This is fingers for people who can't see. Which is everyone except you. Fingers to forehead. Whatever, major loser.
Oh.
They actually do it in the movie.
What? Oh.
Whatever, major loser. You gotta do it in that voice or it doesn't work.
I promise you, it does not work, no matter what voice you use. Wow, that is horrific.
Did you not ever do the loser?
Not
like really.
Not unironically.
No, I did it. Even I did only ironically, but like it's that era.
Yeah, but like
whatever.
That's way too much. That's very.
But to be fair, so the Sharpie character does that. And the girl she's doing it to is like, what does that mean? And her friend's like, oh, it's whatever, major loser. And then the Mitchie character's like, oh, that was like so last year.
That was like never. Like Clueless, they had the whatever. That was.
And the loser.
But
that was ironic.
Wow.
Or a stereotypical.
That was a thing that actually happened. I don't think anybody ever did that.
Okay, if you ever did whatever, major loser, non-ironically, or if you know anyone who did,
or even ironically, to be honest with you, because
to hear about it.
I've never heard of anything.
You never did the whatever?
No.
Well, I mean, I never did it.
Whatever was the W.
Oh, that's right. You would hold your fingers out in front of you.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You'd be like, whatever.
That's Clueless.
I did have
Clueless.
whatever.
No, I never.
Yeah, no, we did that.
No.
And then the loser was on the forehead.
The L on the forehead.
Yeah.
That's very common. Yes.
We may be talking about this too much.
I just my mind is blown and like this is I don't.
Okay, sequel time.
Okay, let's go through the sequel fast because I'm sure it's not very exciting.
Okay, so the premise is they've been talking the whole time. All the characters basically revisit.
Wow.
But, I know, all of them. But we noticed there's not a lot of people at camp, and then we find out Camp Star has opened on the same lake, and Camp Star is run by the former bandmate of the guy who runs Camp Rock, the old rocker. And he was kicked out of the band and is like, has since become a music producer and is very successful. So they go over there and it's like super high budget. The cabins aren't cabins. It's basically more like a resort. The stage is like huge and has like effects on it. It's a whole thing, right? And so the Sharpie character right away is like, oh, I want to switch to here. So she does. And that's like, we see her again, but like that's her role, is to like be the one who's the character we kind of know and care about, who like switched over to there.
The rival camp.
Yes, but the daughter of the guy who runs it forms a relationship with the middle Jonas brother now, and now all three brothers now are at the camp. So they're trying to help their uncle run it because he's like, we don't have enough counselors anymore, because we don't have enough campers anymore. And a bunch of the counselors, the guy who was running the other camp, which is called Camp Star instead of Camp Rock, Camp Star offered all the counselors double pay if they went to work with him. So a bunch of the counselors did.
You better. You get that. You get that money. You get that money.
So the premise is he doesn't have enough counselors to run the camp anymore. Most of the campers stayed, with a few exceptions, like the Sharpie character. But he just can't run it. So a bunch of the older campers, like Mitchie, like the Jonas Brothers, they all agree to act as counselors.
Do they get paid?
Doesn't matter. They sing a song about it.
They should get paid.
They might, but they also sing a song about it.
Workers' rights. Workers' rights.
Apparently, Mitchie somehow becomes the organizer for most of this stuff. The person who was like the manager before isn't in this one. She's one of the only ones we don't see again.
She died.
Apparently. But her like mom is back being the cook. But they're definitely working understaffed. But there's also fewer campers. So through all of this, they're kind of like figuring it out. She's working really hard. Joe Jonas, the old Jonas brother, is trying to figure out like how to spend more time together. So he keeps planning things like, at one point he plans a midnight picnic and she's like, I'm too busy. Or moonlight picnic, sorry. And
I was
another
like,
time,
at midnight? What are you doing at midnight? Sleeping?
sleeping. She's like, I'm too busy. I have to like transpose the song or whatever. Another time she's like trying to loosen her up, and so he like plans a big water fight for the whole camp, basically. And everyone has a great time except her, kind of thing. So there's like that kind of stuff. But there's also, the daughter of the rival camp forms a kind of sort of relationship with the middle of the Jonas Brothers. And he does my favorite song of the movie, where her whole thing is she's like, you're just a typical teenage boy where you won't tell me anything about yourself. Like why should I even bother? Like, who cares? Like, the whole thing is she doesn't care he's famous, right? I want to know more about you. And he, in typical teenage, all boy fashion, is like, it's hard for me to talk about myself. And his brothers are like, no, but you can sing about yourself. So he sings this song, just like,
it's not a solution. No,
it's really funny. It's like about all these little things about him, and it's like she has to go, so he keeps singing it faster and faster and faster, and it's like an actually funny moment of it. And it's basically like, you asked, so like,
you sound very surprised that there's actually a funny moment in this movie. You're like, wow, actually this was like not teeth-pullingly painful.
No, none of it was painful. That's the whole thing. None of it was painful. But this was a funny moment.
I don't believe you.
So this was a funny moment. I really liked it. The youngest brother, who's like the one who's supposed to be like the idiot, they get him to work with the youngest kids, the junior rockers. And he actually, like, at first everyone's failing miserably, but he actually like finds his niche with them and does really, really well with them, and they all like love him and respect him and adore him and stuff.
So they all go through mini hero's journey.
They all go through mini hero's journey. And then throughout it, they decide somehow there's like a challenge issued where they go over and they're like, you perform on this big stage, but like you're no better than us, right? So they have this like little mini sing off, and then they're like, well, we should do an actual competition. And they're like,
you got served,
basically. And they're like, well, let's do the final jam, which is the name of the movie. We'll do that.
Well, I like, what flavor of jam?
Blueberry.
Oh, that's
it's the only one blueberry. That's why it's the final one. So they do that, and they're gonna go on the stage. And the big producer guy, instead of being like, oh, they're just going to have a sing-off, does this whole media thing. And it's like, last one standing. And then Mitchie overhears the guy who runs it and her mom talking about, and he's really concerned. He says, if we lose, which we will, because they have way more resources, way more money, way more people, no one will ever come to our camp and we'll have to shut down. So she's like devastated. So she starts like basically yelling at everyone to work harder, and she basically loses herself in the focus of the goal, which is very Cheetah Girls-ish as well. Right?
You're supposed to lose yourself in the music and the moment.
On the moment. We're gonna let it go. You only get one shot.
No, that's a completely different movie.
Do not miss a chance.
I've derailed this whole thing.
So anyway, we kind of, they do figure it. She comes to the realization again through like everyone coming together and being like, we all care about you. You don't need to do this on your own. And then they find out that at the other camp, at Camp Star, their final performance, which they've been like working on like crazy, lots of people are involved in it, but there's only 2 real singers, and
so
that
they
is
murder them.
They murder them. That is the main character and the Sharpie character, and they're basically fighting all the time because they both want the spotlight, right? And so
it's like a Kobe Bryant Shaq
kinda
type of deal.
Yeah,
You
so
have no idea about that.
I know who those people are. And so they find this out, and so their solution is we'll get the Joe Jonas character and the Mitchie character, Demi Lovato character, to just sing together because they're the 2 strongest singers, and that will make sure we win. And she's like, oh, okay. And the junior rockers are kind of like sad about it. And one of them always has this camera, right? And she's like, oh, are you guys okay? And he's like, yeah, we're just like, look, it would have been nice, but you know, we'll come back next summer. If we win, we can keep the camp, and then we come back next summer and it'll be okay. She starts looking at their footage and says, oh, I've got an idea. And then, of course, we leave from that, skip forward to camp, the night of the big concert.
Yeah, you got to fast forward.
You got it. So the first group goes on as Camp Star, and we find out that the producer guy has had it auto text every cell phone in the vicinity to vote for them. And he's gotten all this like millions of dollars of publicity to vote for them and all this other stuff. So that's what they're doing, is like an online voting thing. And so they perform first, and it's this like over the top number, and they're like, they're supposed to be good or whatever. So okay, so they do that, and lots of people are like, all the camp rockers who are waiting backstage to go on next are like, why does my phone say vote for Camp Star? My phone says download as ringtone. Like, it's all very, yeah. So basically there's like no way they can win.
Remember downloading ringtones?
Right?
That was the thing that you used to do.
Yeah.
Now
if my phone rang now.
Oh, if anybody's phone rings now, I give them the dirtiest look. Don't have your ringer on.
You better be over 50.
You better be at least.
Right?
I don't have your ringer on.
Right.
Vibrate at most.
At most.
You better off silent.
Better. Yes. So anyway, then Camp Rock goes on, and the Jonas Brother and Mitchie start out in the stands, which is of course very cool, and they start singing about how like everyone's happy and welcome together and blah blah blah. And everyone is involved in it, and the junior rockers come out and they sing and dance and play guitar and stuff like that too. And everyone's involved, and in the background is like the video footage that the kid had shot all summer of like how fun camp was. So it's like them having a water fight and like them catching fireflies and like all of that stuff, which she was like losing sight of. But they're like reminding everyone this is what camp actually is supposed to be, not this like crazy thing. And
which is what I asked about in the first place. If you not do all this music stuff, which
so basically Camp Rock is supposed to like
be both.
And actually there is a conversation that the 2 guys have, and the Camp Star guy's like, oh, we each have our niche, and he's like, my niche is creating like the future rock and pop stars, like rock pop stars of tomorrow. And he's like, and what do you do again? He's like, I foster a love of music through exploration and confidence. And he's like, that's cute, like that kind of thing. So that's the whole thing, is they're like embracing that, and they're all like, they're not in matching uniforms, they're just like kids having fun, and they're really really good. And it's supposed to be this like big moment, it's very cool, and of course they lose. Right?
Well, you spoiled that earlier with the tweet.
Right, yes. So anyway, they lost.
You spoiled the whole
lost
thing.
It. So then later on it goes, and it shows like, but it's cool because you don't actually hear. She's like going to announce, and everything goes like silent, and you just watch their reaction. So you like watch them lose, and it's like it shows the little kids, and they're like sad, and it's a whole thing. So then later at the campfire the next night, they're kind of like sitting around it, and they start like singing Kumbaya. Basically, they sing another song, but about how it's like our summer and we're really happy. And then one of the kids jumps up and is like, "What's that?" And all these campers from like Camp Star are like, "Wow, you guys are having so much fun." So they come over and are like, "We don't get to have campfires over at Camp Star. Can we come join you guys?"
You gotta pay. You gotta pay money.
So they all come over, and then they all sign up for camp the following year with Camp Rock. They're like, I called my mom, and like, you guys look like you have way more fun, so like, we'll just stay with you guys. And so they all like sign up a year in advance to go for Camp Rock. So Camp Rock gets to stay open, even though they didn't win the competition.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's fun.
So the moral of the story is
work for free.
Well, no.
Child labor.
Child labor. No, like I think just having a camp would be nice. Mm-hmm. Just like regular camp stuff. And if I could go to like you know what they should have? Summer camp for adults, because now we can drink.
Oh my god, that'd be so much fun.
And
I think that's just called camping. That's like what we did last weekend.
Kind of, but
we want someone else to organize it.
Yeah,
and I want to make friendship bracelets.
And like
and birdhouses.
And like have like the mess hall where they cook for
yes.
you.
The mess hall, by the way, shout out to Mitchie's mom, because she had some food.
Yeah. And like only like some of the meals were made of former campers.
Exactly.
Like,
it's very important.
Yeah.
Any questions about Camp Rock?
No.
I really liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I liked High School Musical, but I really liked this. I was pleasantly surprised. It was better than I thought. And like, they made fun of themselves a lot.
Okay.
Like the younger one, when he's talking to the junior campers in part 2, he's like, "Okay, who wants to be a drummer?" And all the kids put up their hand. "Who wants to be a guitarist?" And puts up their hand. And he's like, "Who wants to be a lead singer?" And he looks at his older brothers walking by, who's the lead singer. And he's like, "Okay, well then you guys all need to buy way tighter pants and learn to play a tambourine."
Okay, so you got to know all the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
You were a little too old for the Jonas Brothers.
Way too old, yeah.
Well, I have a nice special treat for you.
Okay.
Because you got to know the Jonas Brothers. Now we're going to find out which Jonas Brother you are.
Oh, okay. This is totally different than the quiz I had up for you that I will save for another time.
What was that?
Which Disney Channel original movie are you?
No. This is specific to Jonas Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
I got to know Demi Lovato more.
Yeah, well, whatever. You're going to be a Jonas Brother.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
Purple. Is that an option?
No.
Damn.
Blue, green, red, and yellow.
Blue.
Okay. Choose your favorite flower. There's a sunflower, a tulip, a rose, or a daisy.
Oh, that's tough. Probably daisy. My favorite flower is actually an orchid. That's not on there.
No.
Sunflower and daisy are like tied. Let's go daisy.
The most pathetic flower. Okay.
You just got me some wild daisies. That's why I picked it.
Daisies are weeds. There.
That's why I picked it, because it reminds me of you.
Choose a vacation destination. A beach, space, France, or a mountain.
Beach. If it was Italy and not France, I'd pick that. But France is Disneyland Paris.
What is your favorite thing to do? There's a picture of a guy lifting weights.
No.
There's like a notebook with like little notes on it.
Yeah.
Drinking coffee, or a book with reading.
Oh, the reading one probably. That's like a weird combination, though.
Yeah, I was like, well, you could drink coffee while you read. Anyway,
yeah, okay.
Whatever. Choose your favorite fruit. Do you have a favorite fruit?
Peach.
There's not an option. Okay.
Pineapple.
Avocado. It technically is a fruit. Yes. Okay. Whatever. Banana, cherry, or orange.
Oh, I love fruits. None of those are my favorites. What was it? Avocado, banana, cherry, or orange? If it was a BC cherry.
Well, they kind of, I don't know.
I don't know. Let's go with that. Let's pretend they're BC cherries.
Choose your favorite rapper. Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Drake, or Cardi B?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't Nicki Minaj, I guess. I don't know.
She has some good tunes.
Yeah, there's a couple songs I like from, but same with Cardi B. Okay, Nicki. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, I've already selected it.
Perfect. We're going with it.
You are now a Jonas Brother.
Okay, I'm ready.
You are Kevin Jonas.
Which one's that one?
I don't know. The picture
Let me
was cut
see.
off.
What?
I don't know. I will Google Kevin Jonas.
I was gonna Google Kevin Jonas.
Kevin Jonas.
He's the young dumb one.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Jonas Brothers. I honestly thought there was only two, to be honest with you. They do look like brothers. Well, there you go. What was their biggest hit? The Jonas Brothers' biggest hit. Oh, they just released an album in 2019, apparently.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe is the oldest. Then it's Nick, and then Kevin. Frankie, there's actually a fourth one.
Oh.
But he wasn't in the band, and that's Frankie.
Wow, sucks to be him,
I guess.
It's,
he's quite a bit younger is the whole thing.
it's like...
No, he was a kid when they were...
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So right now, they are 34... Or sorry. No, Kevin's the oldest. What?
It's kind of like the Wahlberg brothers. There's like one that's like not...
So
Anyway.
Kevin was born in 87. Joe was born in 89. Nick was born in 92. And then 8 years later, Frankie was born.
Oh,
So like
really
they
got-
were like
use
three.
Use a whoopsie.
Not saying that.
The Jonas Brothers are way older than I thought.
I know. They were like 10 years older than I thought.
They're like way older
They're
than
like
I
our
thought.
age.
Well, the oldest one is like only a couple years older than, or a couple years younger than
Yeah,
us.
that's our like bracket.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, you are Kevin,
Okay.
The-
Who's apparently the oldest one.
the oldest one. Okay, I don't know.
I didn't know that.
They all
They-
look the same, really.
They do not.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're Kevin.
But Kevin, I thought was the youngest in the movies. But there was something important I was gonna say. You asked about how old these guys were.
Yeah.
So the one I thought was the middle one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought Joe was the oldest. Nick's character, who I thought was the middle one, who's kind of got the love interest in the second movie. Are you listening?
Yeah.
In his song about like this is who I am, and it's like kind of fast and kind of funny, he sings about trying to grow a mustache.
Oh, okay.
There's a line in there. He's like, I didn't tell him about trying to grow a mustache.
Uh-huh.
And it's supposed to be like kind of funny. So that tells us kind of an age range for him.
Like 16.
Ish, right? And now I thought the one was older and the one was younger, but apparently I could be wrong. Because the oldest one is the one I thought was the youngest. He's just has a childlike love of everything.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm
so
Kevin.
of all the Disney Channel movies that you've had to watch
Yep.
or
Gotten to watch.
Mm-hmm. Where would you put Camp Rock? Like near the top, near the bottom, in the middle?
Not at the very top, but like a third of the way down. It's in the top half, for
Okay.
sure. It's not Halloween Town. Halloween Town's my favorite.
Fair.
I like High School Musical, and I like Teen Beach Movie, and I like this one. I did.
Good. I'm glad.
But yeah, it's in the top half, but it's not like the top. How about that?
Okay. Well.
Low bar.
Yeah.
You want to watch it?
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna find you a trilogy.
No, there's no more. No.
I'm gonna find you.
No trilogies.
Okay, no trilogy. I'm gonna find you a Halloween one though.
There can't be anything good Halloween on there.
Good is a strong word. Well, that is our show this week. Thank you, El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song you heard at the top of the show, and all of our shows. And thank you for letting us look after your dog tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Wait. Stopping. What?
Frankie Jonas, you talked about.
Yeah.
He was a junior rocker in Camp Rock.
No, he was not.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he was the main one. I bet he was the main one with the camera.
Uh,
he played all the pranks on his older brother then.
I don't know. He was a junior rocker.
Show me a picture.
He had like a little fro.
Show me a picture of him as the junior rocker.
I don't know. I just said he was a junior rocker.
I'm gonna find it. Yep, he was like the main junior rocker. He played all the pranks on the older one. He's the one with the camera.
If you look at his eyes, he looks like a Jonas Brother. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, he like did the shaving cream with the all that stuff, and he like filmed it.
The shaving cream when you tickle the nose.
Yeah. So and that's funny because it was on his oldest brother. He's also, remember I said there was a little kid who filmed everything and he had a camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him.
Oh, okay.
So he was like the main junior rocker.
Well, there you go. All the Jonas Brothers were in this.
I love it. Oh my god, that's amazing. That makes me like it even more.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Also, El Mule.
Yeah. You can just restart the outro.
Thank you, El Mule.
No.
Nope. That's our show?
Do the full thing.
I'm going to keep this in here.
No! Terrible. It's terrible.
So that's our show this week. Thank you, El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song you heard at the top of the show.
And
thank you for letting us watch Your Doggo Tomorrow.
Yay,
which was
Django.
actually 2 days ago.
Yay,
when
Django.
You listen to this. Yay, Django. Also, if you are an adult and haven't watched Django Unchained, go watch Django Unchained. Be an adult.
Oh, yeah.
You can find a link to his work at our website at disneya.wixsite.com/podcast. That's also where you can find a link to our social media accounts as well as our email. If you're from Kamloops specifically, we'd love to hear from you.
And which Thompson River is your favorite?
Do you have a favorite Thompson River? If so, which one?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can find Disney A episodes on all of your favorite podcast streaming platforms and on our YouTube channel, Adventures A. If you know someone who might like listening to us, be sure to recommend Disney A to them. And if you have rated or reviewed our podcast, thank you. And if you have not yet, please do. I don't know what we're talking about next episode, but we'll talk about something.
Probably something.
I have a couple ideas, but we haven't finalized.
Yeah, I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
Something cool.
Something cool. So I'm Krysta.
I'm Brandon.
Oh, did you do the pointing? Good job.
My thumb.
With your thumb. That counts.
Yeah.
Okay, pause. I know we're literally in the middle of the last seconds. It's almost to where we plan spooky season content.
It's my favorite time of the year.
Not Christmas?
Gosh, no.
Yeah, so we've got some spooky season content. So if there is something specific that you want us to cover, let us know, because I've got some ideas. One is haunted attractions.
They're all haunted.
With joy.
Mm-hmm.
So until the next adventure, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Thanks for listening to Disney A.
Okay. Say bye, kitty. Okay, you don't have that on command meowing thing down yet?